Hi, Sonia, Middle East. This is Saman Hayat Soomro. So glad to be here today. I'm actually a dentist by profession, but I'm not practicing right now. But I soon will, inshallah. And I am a content creator, a business owner, an entrepreneur, whatever you call it. So I think I always wanted to do the hijab. In my head, I knew I had to, and I used to try out different styles and practice and see what looks best on me. But to be very honest, I went through a life changing moment when I moved here, and I got really really sick, and I was at the hospital, and I used to pray. So I've been praying 5 times since a very long time now. And when I was praying at the hospital on my bed, and it was like a ward which was shared, so I could see other people as well. So there used to be an adult woman who used to smile at me every time I used to pray, because I used to pray and I used to take off my scarf. And then once I was getting my room shifted to shift it to my room, and the nurse, I asked her to cover me. When I think of covering me, I thought she would just put the sheila or the hijab on my chest to cover it, but she covered me on my head and she wrapped it around my head, because over here, like it's for Muslims, it's like a thing that they wear the hijab. Where I come from, originally Pakistan, it wasn't compulsory. That's what we were taught, and that's what we were told. So it wasn't really a part of our culture to wear the hijab. But over here, it's a part of their culture, right? So when she wrapped me, I don't know what happened, but inside me, I just smiled at that woman again. Like she was looking at me, I smiled at her, and I think it's been that day, and since like it's been this day, and I still haven't taken it off. Basically, when I started wearing the hijab, I all I had in my closet was haram clothes. When you don't wear the hijab, you wear half sleeves, you wear cap sleeves, and you wear like skirts which are short, and you wear trousers which are not fully fully there. Like I used to wear like a lot of things. But then obviously when I started wearing the hijab, it wasn't just covering my head; it was covering my entire body. So I had to like immediately get a wardrobe shift to a more modest style clothing. And then I started looking into the market, and I went to a lot of stores, but I was shocked that being here in Dubai, I still wasn't able to find a lot of modest options, and which like the modest options that were present in the market were very expensive. So I was like, how do I bridge this gap? Like, what do I do? And I started thinking about it. And then I got a few pieces. I got a few pieces ordered online, and then I figured them out. But matching the hijab is such a task. So I was like struggling to match hijabs with my outfit. So I was like, I can't be doing this. I need to do something about this. And it wasn't just me. So I figured out slowly, slowly that it's everyone who wears the hijab. They struggle with matching hijabs. They struggle with outfits where the lengths are appropriate enough. They struggle with, loose clothing, which doesn't fit to your body really tightly. So I think I just started to think about it, and I was like, and by the way, since the past 2 years before I launched this brand, I'd been praying to God, because I really wanted something of my own, a business or a brand or something. And I was praying to God to guide me and help me with something that I can build, where I can start saying that this is my own. So I think when this happened, I was like, oh my God, like I think Allah guided me for this. And I got so excited, and got so pushed, because I even launched the collection a week back, and we got sold out within 24 hours. I'm trying to restock now. It's a struggle, but I'm so glad I did it. So I think every woman that wants to dress up modestly, that believes in covering, and that finds their true strength with covering their body, it just is not, by the way, for hijabis. Of course, I try to bridge that gap for hijabis. But if you see the shoot as well that we did, I did it with my friend who's not a hijabi, but she's wearing that loose cord with a scarf that is lying over here in her hand. Like, it doesn't have to be on your head; it can be anywhere. It depends on how you want to style it, but it is technically for people who are more comfortable with wearing loose outfits with scarves and stoles on the side, and like who want to dress up stylishly but modestly at the same time. Like, it's not because when I was dressing up modestly before this, like, people used to tell me abayas are the only option, and I used to be like, no, abayas are boring. Like, now I see very interesting abayas, by the way, but like initially, like, for me, abaya was just black, a cloth all over your body, like a wheel, and that's it. But I was like, no, I need to do something that is stylish, yet covers your body, yet is interesting, but at the same time it's modest. So I think everyone is my audience who wants to wear it, who wants to wear nice. So I recently, when we dispatched our clothes and somebody received them, they sent me a picture and they said, you know, my friend gave me the compliment that we can see someone in you. So for me, my clothes are a representation of what I would wear and what I would like to wear. So what suits me, the style that I carry, because initially when I started wearing the hijab, a lot of people thought I'd start wearing abayas and I would wear them with our traditional Pakistani outfit, which is shalwar kameez. But I did not do that, and I started wearing loose pants with button-down shirts and with a scarf, which was complementing. So that style became a little bit of my style, and people started copying. I mean, they got inspired. I'm not gonna use the word copy. They got inspired and they started wearing it too. So for me, it was like it has to be a representation of what I would like to wear, and that compliment made my day because somebody could see someone in those outfits, which says so speaks so much about the collection itself. I think I wouldn't say brands, but I would say collections. So for me, like I am so happy with the Ramadan collection right now. I feel like this is the modesty season, and I see like even like for example, I follow Safa from Dubai Bling, and I see her taking out her collection, and now she is also focusing on modesty, modest style clothing, which made me so happy because everybody is now working on creating modest outfits. So for me, not a specific brand, but I would say collection. So like if I had to shop in Dubai like all year round, I would just shop in Ramadan and I would keep those outfits for a year. So I think NISA is currently a very small scale business, but I plan to make it really big. Currently, we're based in Pakistan, and we want to bring it here to the Middle East, and we want to just have our ground here, and we want to supply all over the world. Because I was really shocked with the queries that I got. Most of them were from the West, so that meant that the demand is there, but the supply isn't. So for me, my main goal has been to, because I feel like I haven't seen a brand yet which includes a scarf with their outfits for sure. Like, I feel like for me, just sending in that outfit, even if someone does not carry the hijab, is just to make sure that I've done my part. Maybe when they have enough outfits and they have these matching scarves, one day they might just start taking it on their head. So for me, like, I need to grow it bigger. I need to have more designs. I need to, have a proper investment into it and a proper, like, my focus into it to make it like one of the biggest brands of the world, inshallah. I feel like it's gonna get even bigger, and it's gonna get bigger to a level where you will see more modest clothing than you would see other kinds of clothing, especially in the Middle East market. I feel because there are a lot of people who wear the hijab here who, even if they don't wear the hijab, they still carry their clothes modestly. So I feel like because I see these Arab women trying to carry this beautiful way of their abayas, like they don't wear the scarf on top, but they would just keep it here somewhere, or they would just have it in their hand, but it just looks so stylish and so trendy. So I feel like with time it's just going to get better. So you won't believe me, but I actually pray for people who give me hate because I feel like they need that positivity in their life. Because I feel like I have also been negative at one point of time in my life, and when I was negative, I used to perceive negatively, and I used to see others doing things negatively, although that they were not right. So for me now, I feel like if someone is giving me hate, it is definitely because they are at a very bad spot in their lives and they are very negative right now. So I pray for their positivity and for their happiness so that they don't have to seek attention online giving other people hate. So if you're in the room right now, I give you love, nothing else. So I don't think the audience is respective towards that choice like majority, because we come from a society where it was very okay to ask intrusive questions or to get into each other's personal lives a lot. And I think it's the entire world. I only see the West like a little bit, I feel like, modernized towards it, but I feel like the rest of the world is still struggling with that bit. And I feel like it's not me like who just wants to keep a certain part of my life private. I think it's my husband and the people who are attached to me as well, because initially when I was on my own, I could have shared whatever I wanted because it was just my life, right? But if I'm including my parents or my husband or like the kids or the family or whatever, then it becomes my responsibility as well that I'm sharing them online. And now that the audience is increasing, sorry, and it's become huge. Like now we are a family of 200,000 people. So when I think about it, I can't even fit like 50,000 people at my house, right? So if I'm giving them access to look into my personal life, I feel like that's not right. So that's me, but I try to keep it balanced out so that people are not really bored, but also like I still want to show some part of my life, but not everything. So I think the most frequently asked question is, where do I live? The name of my building. I feel like it's a common thing maybe in Dubai to ask, but I am not comfortable telling my building's name to 200,000 people. No thanks. My husband's workplace. That's something that my husband had told me that he's not comfortable with, and I think I'm not comfortable with it either, because it's like, why should we, right? They also ask, are you on rent, or is it your own house? So I do not understand how would this question help them out. Like, I don't understand I mean, questions have to make logic, right? So for me, these questions don't make logic. They don't make sense. And yeah, when am I planning to have a baby? I think this is like the fourth one that really annoys me, because that's such a personal thing. Like, I don't know how to explain people. Like, this is none of your concern. When it happens, you'll know it. So if a person who loves music, and by the way, I used to dance a lot, so I was very much into dancing. So for me, to transition into a hijabi meant that no dancing, or not no music, but no dancing publicly. And I used to like, we used to have these festivals where I used to be dancing on the stage. So for me to actually get onto this hijab journey was not just leaving my clothing choices, but also a lot of other choices that I used to be a part of. So I think the initial hate that I started getting when I started wearing the hijab was to, um, be more, because they start thinking that you represent the whole community, and you need to be the perfect example. But I just want to repeat this here again: no one's perfect, and I feel like especially the hijabis that start off, they're not converts. Like, they're being treated as they're reverts or something. They're not. They're Muslims. They know their culture and their religion since they were born. But if they're doing something or the other, maybe they'll change in a while, or maybe it'll take some time. But I feel like hijabis need to be left alone on the internet. Please, please. They need to be given that chance to, modify and change certain things about their life. But it won't happen in one day. It won't happen in 7 days. It will take years and years. And you, as a viewer, I feel like should also be improving on your thought process while the other person is improving in their, in their choices. So I feel like everyone is growing every single day with one thing or the other that they learn from the internet or from their own journey. And I think they need to be left alone and given a chance. First advice that I would give them, because they're on the internet, is to not take everything too seriously with the comments and stuff, because you will get hate, you will get a lot of negativity. But you always think of what I said earlier: pray for them, and just think that they're in a very negative place in their life, and I'll just wish them that they get better, because you are at your own journey, you are at your own pace, and right now where you are, maybe somewhere someone was that person years ago, and maybe they've evolved into that person that they are now. So you need to just take it as a, as a lesson of not taking things too seriously on the internet, but just working on yourself to be a better person. While leaving, I just want to say that make internet a very positive place, and give love, not hate. And also, like, if you can skip something, just skip it rather than mentioning or saying something negative, because right now I feel like the mental health situation since post COVID, I think, has been really, really hard on a lot of people. And like, I feel like they're struggling with a lot of things mentally. So if you can't make someone else feel better, rather not make them feel bad. So that's the final thing that I would say. And with Nisa, I just want to thank everyone for the lovely response that they've given. I want to thank you guys for making me a part of this interview. And I hope and wish that we can bridge this modesty gap in the market with your publication and with my brand, inshallah.